messy, messy dresser in a dark room, empty with the cord wrapped around the middle, 'cause you're done with it. Space between the beeps when the oven's preheated.
Here we are, people. Season 6, If It Be Your Will podcast coming at you. Today, I love reaching out across our country. We're all Canadians, and I have Living Hour here with me today from Winnipeg. So we're doing a cross-country check-in. They're actually an hour behind me, so I'm seeing their future. It looks good, guys. Don't worry. So I have Living Color coming in from Winnipeg, and I have two of the members here with me. I have Gil and I have Sam. Sam takes on a lot of the fronting of singing and playing, and Gil is very into his guitars, some electrics, and sometimes vocal. We're going to have 25 minutes to learn all about Living Hour and also this great new record called Internal Drone Infinity coming out in October, and then they'll be hitting the road in November. So we'll remind you all before we check out, and when you read my post on the podcast, you'll see all of this information so you can go check a show out. Sam and Gil, thanks so much for joining me today. It's a real pleasure having you guys. Long-time follower, long-time lover of what you guys do. So I was really excited to not only talk to fellow Canadians, but also talk to a band that I've just loved for many years.
Yeah, we're happy to talk with you.
Thank you. So, Sam, I'm going to start on your end, and I'm going to ask you both the same question and then we'll see how it merges together. But what were some of your beginning explorations into music as something that could evolve into a career or something that you would just always be doing?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I grew up making music and learning music when I was a kid, and I did like the piano lesson route, and then a lot of like band, and in high school I played the trombone, and I did some choir too. And yeah, so I was always kind of in that world, but then also, loved downloading music and like discovering music with, CDs and going to record stores and stuff. And also through movie soundtracks, I would find a lot of music that I liked, but it was very like private for me. And I would just like really, really listen to music alone all the time, walking around. So that was like also helped me develop a love for the thing. And then I met Gil in university, and I was determined to be a scientist or something. And I stopped playing music for a year. And I felt really sad and unmoored.
Right.
And then Gil was like, well, why don't you just be in a band? And I was like, that sounds so silly. You just kept telling me to be in a band, and then we just slowly started the Hours, which then turned into Living Hour. And then I was convinced, and I was very happy. And then I just kept doing it, and now we're here.
Nice. And when you were mentioning kind of the privacy you like having with the music that you're exploring and giving it a good listen and stuff, what were some of those records way back that still stick with you today? I mean, Pitchfork calls them a no-skip records. Like, were there some of those records that you like were fundamental in pushing you to say, okay, screw science, I want to rock it?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it was like ambient music. So I loved Godspeed You, Black Emperor. I listened to a lot of Explosions in the Sky. And then also, like, something that I've revisited recently on a road trip was the soundtrack to The Social Network by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. Like, I love that soundtrack, and there's this one piano line that just like changed my life, it feels like. But yeah, they have the Neutron soundtrack coming out soon.
That's true.
Really excited about that. But yeah, that record definitely I listened to a lot. And then when I got older, I would listen to Florist outside a bird sang like hundreds of times. Like that was a really good record for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, just lots of like ambient stuff.
Yeah. Very reflective to music, like it demands your attention in a way to the focus that you need to kind of pick out the pieces and what is actually going on, how this is all built and constructed together. It's interesting that too, because I'm hearing that in the latest record, I'm hearing that in, and your past records as well. Like it's just speckled throughout, which is very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Gil, you met in university. What was it that you saw in Sam that had you saying, you got to start a band? Like what was that events or circumstances that took place that led you guys to that?
Well, I mostly just thought Sam was cool, and me and Adam from Living Hour at that point had just started putting on concerts locally, and we still do that today. We still put on a lot of shows in the local scene here in Winnipeg, and Sam came to one of the shows that I was playing with an older band at this place called VP Nights, which was like the upstairs of this restaurant called Vietnamese Paradise, that they let us put on shows there. And the guy was super happy to have all these sort of new young people at his spot. So Sam came to a show, and I kind of knew she was interested in the scene a bit. And one of her friends, who's a close collaborator of ours, Tallulah, sang a couple songs with our other friend, Adam, who at one of our shows. And so Sam was sort of adjacent to the scene that we were sort of building already. And we sort of just got to talking, and she told me that she listened to some jazz music with her dad. And I remember that. So yeah, and then she told me that she played piano and sang and played guitar, and I was like, oh, well, we should jam sometime. And eventually we did at my friend Zach's old apartment, and I showed her a couple songs that I had written, and I was like, oh yeah, maybe there could be like a keyboard part. And she's like, oh, well, I could play that. And then she played it like way better than me. So that was sort of like a quick, and the same thing happened with like singing the songs. I would like sing a song that I had written, and then I would get Sam to do like some backups or doubling or whatever. And then very quickly I was like, what if you just sang the song? And that was sort of how it started.
So I'm getting why you said at the start of this that, I don't really do a lot of vocals. Like, only like Sam that takes care of that.
Sam does a lot. And then Adam sings a lot of harmonies now, and he sings lead vocals on one of the songs. He's got a real voice of an angel as well.
Right? Amazing. And Sam, what were, like, when you first started jamming with Sam, like, what potential did you start to see with a potential collaboration or a potential, hey, let's see if we could put a few songs together, or, an EP, or hey, why don't we go play at a open mic, or whatever it might have been. What did you see in the potential of Sam at that?
I was just excited. So, because I had never had a band with a really good singer before. And so I think I just invited Sam and Tallulah to sort of jam at my parents' house a couple times. And then it just happened very sort of organically. And I think it took maybe a little convincing, but I was like, we should play a show. And this was right around the time we got Adam to join the band as well. And his first show with us was like a Valentine's Day thing at this place called 555 Osborne, which was like a basement venue in Winnipeg. And it just sort of, it was just very organic. I don't know. It was exciting, and we never really looked back, honestly.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you recall from those early coming togethers of jamming together? And
Yeah, it was it was like a slow burn for me, because I had never expected to be in a band.
Mm.
And then it was like suddenly we're playing shows and writing songs, and it's all kind of happening, which was like, because I feel like you were very determined, and then like Solly or Adam too, and you just kind of had this like vision and understanding of what a scene is and how to like do it. And then I only went to like, yeah, I had my ambient music going on, and then I would go to some hardcore shows, and like I was going to shows and going and was in the scene, but I just never really realized like, oh, I can do this too and be a part of it in a band. And so then it just kind of took a while for all those pieces to click for me. And then like a long time. And then I feel like eventually I was like, oh, like I'm just in a band now. And like we're touring and it's like happening. I think like around like our like second record, at the end of our second record coming out, I was like, I'm in a band.
It took 2 releases to kind of get to a point where, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm interested in this too, that, so you say a slow burn to kind of get to, like, what were the moments along that journey that really started to spark, saying that this is something I'm really enjoying, I want to continue this? Like, when did it start to lock in that you're in a band?
I think when we went on tour, that helped it feel more like a real thing when we were on tour, and then getting feedback from people who didn't live here, who were like, oh yeah, this is like, we like your music. And I was like, okay. So that for sure was a marker of convincing. And then I don't know. And then, yeah, like just kind of like spending more time in the studio and recording helped a lot too.
Mm.
But yeah, after the second record, it was kind of like when we wrote Some Days Today, which is like our third record, I was like, okay, I might start like cracking open my journals and like writing my own lyrics and like really putting more of like a piece of myself at the front of the band. And that was like really vulnerable and kind of scary, but then it felt really good when you're performing those later, like on tour, and then getting the feedback again, and then they're like, oh yeah, okay, so it is clicking, it is resonating, like yeah. And then like our latest record is like, I feel like the most like, I'm letting you have it. Like I am here as a musician, like, yeah. So it's just been really like fun to watch.
That's cool. Yeah, like the start of the record too, it's like noise in your face and then just drops out to this beautiful, like slow, chorey, dreamy, song. Like, I love how that you're grabbing people's attention and saying, listen.
Yeah.
So good. It's so cool with that.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And how was it that the band came to understanding what sound they wanted to do? Like, was that the 2 records prior that kind of were the sculpting ground for as to where you guys wanted to go as a direction? Gil, I'll throw that over at you. Like, how did you guys start to decide or come to the sound that you now have and that, this new record is based upon?
I think it's really related to what Sam was talking about with like her development as a songwriter. And also like, a lot of our earlier stuff, like Adam and I are doing a lot of like guitar interplay and like guitar harmonizing and things like that. And Sam was more so playing keyboards at that point. And then Sam, she always played guitar, like, but not so much in the band. But then Sam just wrote a bunch of songs on guitar and baritone guitar and bass, actually. And that sort of was the start of sort of like a new era of our sound, I would say, because it forced, in a good way, Adam and I to sort of reevaluate the kind of guitar stuff we were writing. And and then Sam was also coming in with all these vocal melodies. So her melodies informed what we were playing and writing. So that's definitely a part of it. And then I think also just being on tour so much, because we've toured a lot as a band over the last several years. And I think we all kind of have been influenced by other artists along the way, whether that be listening to artists just in the van, like on the radio or CDs or whatever, or also seeing bands live and then talking about it after, being like, oh, that part was really cool. Like we could do something like that, or just, maybe it's more subtle than that, but we've all been kind of inspired by, being on tour and seeing tons of live music. And so that's part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And Sam, your process for starting to write the songs, I mean, did you write most of the songs that are on the new record?
Yeah, the new record, I think, yeah, because I moved into this space you see behind me. It's like our gram space, but also my living room. And then I like all the guitars and drums are here. So then I wake up every day and they're just there. So then I would just start writing. And then Gil would come downstairs and play drums because he'd hear me like play guitar. So that's a lot of how the song started. But then everyone like added a lot, and like we would like discuss form and different things, and like, yeah, but definitely like I think with like the words and stuff for sure. I was kind of starting it off.
How does that seed become a song that you want to bring to the band? Like, when do you know when a song has legs to it, and when it's just maybe an idea that is not fleshed out yet? Like, and know when it's time to bring something.
Yeah, like that's a great question, because sometimes I have like too many ideas and then they're all kind of scattered into little fragments. But if I keep coming back to one, then I think, okay, maybe I like this one because I keep coming back to it. And then sometimes we'll go to the scattered fragments and try and like bring in other parts to like make it more of a song. But sometimes I'll come and I'll be like, hey, this is something. This is a chunk. And then you guys will be like, well, what about this if we add this thing? And then and then it kind of like develops more. But yeah, I usually bring it when we've played it a bunch of times practicing. And then I'm like, hey, I want to hear what this sounds like with bass now. And then we're like, bring it to the band. And they're usually like pretty excited. But yeah.
Is it like just lyrics with melody, or do you have a line, like a guitar line that you might be like, okay, this connects so well to it, we could add that to the intro? Or are you pretty much, here's what I have, help me? Or is it kind of like, no, here's the line I want? I was talking, this is where this comes from. Like I was talking to an artist about, sometimes the guitar lines are actual vocal lines, right? They're necessary a part of the song. You're not going to take, like Sweet Child of Mine line out,
Yeah.
That's a part of the song.
Right.
How much liberty and freedom do you give your members to interpreting what you're bringing in?
Yeah. I mean, usually I'll present the song with like no lyrics and it's just sounds or like one thing that I'll repeat over and over again, or just vowel sounds that I'm like, oh, maybe I'll find a word that'll fit that later. But usually it's like that with a lot of just guitar chords and strumming the chords and kind of giving form to the song that way. And then, yeah, and then we're really good about just kind of being like, hey, how can we form this where we can use everyone's skills? Because like you and Solly are definitely way better, like riffing guitar players than I am. And you have like really creative minds with like coming up with guitar parts. Whereas like I'm ultimately a bass player, but when I do play guitar, it's like very straight, or I'm like on the acoustic kind of doing some like ambient, like Americana stuff. So it's like I live in that world, but then you guys are like, what about this riff or like effects or so there's like a lot of beefing it up.
Well, I'm definitely like Sam's biggest hype person when she's got a song idea. Like I'm usually quick to tell her that I think it's good and that I want to work on it. And so I think we just knew that we had a lot of new ideas that we were excited about. And sort of going off what Sam was saying, like when she brings an idea to the band, it's sort of a bit of like a balancing act of like everyone sort of wants to contribute their own creative ideas, but you also want to like give space and respect to like her initial idea without changing it too much. And so like getting to the point where everyone is like excited about it as a whole piece is like always an interesting part of it. And yeah, I mean, with this new album, it was kind of just like, we have all these songs that we're excited about. We added like a new member, Isaac, who plays drums, and we had never recorded with him. So, but we really love playing with him. So we were keen to record with him. And we had done some demoing of earlier ideas and a couple collaborations and things like that. So we were sort of in the recording kind of headspace already. And we knew we didn't want to do any big tours until we had a new album, because sometimes you can tour too much. And so we wanted to be more kind of on the ball and strategic with planning out our tours and stuff. So yeah, it was kind of just, it was time. And we were able to bring in our friend Melina to produce the album. She came in from LA to Winnipeg, and that was a really good experience.
Yeah, that sounded like she was able to flesh out some of that spirit of you guys quite well, which is pretty cool. So the cycle is upon you, right? You're 2 weeks, a little less than 2 weeks away from dropping your latest internal drone, Infinity, October 17th. Is that correct, guys?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Yeah, next.
Yeah. How do you, like, what's life like now pre-launch, and then also prepping for hitting the road in November? What are you guys going through right now?
I'm feeling like I have to clean my whole house. Like we were saying before, like I feel like I need to become healthy and prepared.
A little nesting before.
Yeah, a little nesting. Yeah. And kind of like, yeah, maybe starting some good habits this month that I have before tour month, and to kind of keep that going. Because we have our show like almost every night, and I just want to like make it.
Yeah. What's that cycle like? Like, Gil, can you like put some word, like, what is it like playing every night? Like, you have no chance to recover, right? So is your mindset looking at the month as a whole rather than?
Yeah, it's, I mean, we have a lot of experience doing it, but it is, exhausting for sure. Luckily, all 5 of us can drive the van. And so if people need a little quiet time in the back to relax or put in headphones or read or nap or whatever, there's a bit of an opportunity to do that every couple days at least. But typically, like on tour, like if the shows are good, it gives you that momentum to get to the next one. And, I think we're playing with a lot of great local bands in each city, and we have some, friends and fans in most of the cities we're playing. So I think it's just, you have to pace yourself. We don't want to do any huge party nights or anything like that because there's really no time to sleep in. So we kind of just need to be on it and treat it more like a job, kind of. It's still really fun, obviously. It's a marathon.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's also a lot of, the driving and the logistics. And there's also like social media, which is something that we're sort of have to do as part of it, which can be fun, but also sometimes feels like a chore, so.
Yeah. And just like the like emotional energy of like singing every night. But I'm really excited about these songs, and I think it, like Gil was saying, like it'll like fuel us energetically to like have that exchange with the audience and just like hang out with the songs on stage and then be like, oh, we have them in physical form, like actually have the record. Because I was so used, because I feel like this past year we would play a couple of the songs and I'd be like, it's not out yet, but like soon. So I'm excited to have it like there.
Yeah. Pretty.
I think we like to have a set that we play with like optional like one or two songs that can move or come in and out, just so that we can, because there's a lot of switching in our set, like instruments, like drums, guitar, like we're always like moving around. So we try to design it so that we are not switching as much or like less if possible. Yeah, and then I like when we get like tour tight and it's like really fun with the transitions because we'll like put in some transitions and stuff that like aren't on the record but are like adjacent to the sound and yeah.
Yeah, and like because all of us are sort of busy with our own lives and that kind of thing leading up to the tours, like we actually don't have a ton of rehearsal time, so it's sort of wise for us to like get that set that we're all comfy with and feel good about, and then get that tight, and then adjust here and there, like Sam said, depending on the length of the set or the vibe of the show. Like sometimes we'll be playing like more of a quieter venue, more intimate, or we're playing more of like a rock show, and those are things we consider.
Amazing. Well, I want to thank you guys for coming and sharing a bit of time, kind of exploring the new record, looking a little bit back in the past. I guess my final question is, so you head out, your record comes out October, you head out on tour November. What would the rest of 2025 into 26 look like for Living Hour?
We're going to be on the West Coast in February. We haven't announced that, but we have another tour in February and hopefully more touring after that.
I hope we go to Europe. That would be really fun.
Mm-hmm.
And one of our record labels is based in Australia. And so I would love to go head down there if that's possible.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of like go around, I guess.
Yeah.
Load of touring on the
Yeah, lots of touring.
Lots of touring, because that's like when we make the most fans. That's when we sell our merch. That's when we get better as a band. And, hopefully people like the new stuff and opportunities arise. But yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah. It's kind of like the beginning. Once that record drops, a new journey kind of begins, right? With this new artifact that you guys have created. And I imagine that songwriting is ongoing, Sam. Like that is something that, do you do that on tour as well? Like you'll find some time to like sit around with a guitar or your bass and just.
Usually it's just at home. A lot of times it's like in the winter, like fall, winter, like when it's kind of colder out. You have to stay inside. But we have like, I was looking through my computer and we have like so many ideas already that like, I was even thinking we could start like an EP at least like for like next year, And then I also do like my solo project, Pure Pulp. It's like ambient music, and I'm going to try and release some stuff next year and all that. So,
well, I want you to come back and talk to me about your ambient stuff when it hits. I have never talked to a musician about ambient music, and I've always wanted to. So please, when it drops, I'll reach out to you.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, amazing. Well, guys, this has been really fun. People, go and check a show out. Support this Canadian amazing band, Living Hour. They got this new album coming out, Internal Drone Infinity. Pick it up, check a show out, buy a t-shirt, support some local Canadian talent. And again, guys, all the best in the tour. Excellent record. Excellent. Thanks for putting that out there. It's been a real pleasure to listen to it. And I look forward to talking with you guys again one day.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
It was fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Thanks.